Hey guys, we were talking about solicited-node addresses. Let me just log in here. Otherwise it'll kick me out. Okay, we were talking about solicited-node addresses. We were saying that a solicited-node address was used by NDP, Network Discovery Protocol, in IPv6. That is the replacement for ARP and the legacy protocol, which is IPv4. Well, I feel funny calling it legacy protocol because it's still out there and pretty much going so far, or still. Anyhow, the IPv4 had what we called ARP, Address Resolution Protocol. We no longer have that for IPv6. We have instead NDP, Network Discovery Protocol, and Network Discovery Protocol uses or makes use of the solicited node address. We said that a solicited node address is created for every unicast address that an interface has. For example, you know that when we enable an interface for IPv6, automatically a link local address is assigned to it using stateless stateless address out of configuration, and also it will be joined into a solicited node address group. If to that same address we later assigned a global unicast address, for example, a second solicited node address group will be created. Those solicited node address groups are created by using a predefined 104-bit prefix, which is FF02 : 1 FF, and the last 24 bits of the unicast address, the last 6 hex digits of the unicast address. We're gonna see that now. I have a question, that's why you got here in my post. We're gonna do this in 2 steps. First, I'm going to assign a global unicast address using stateless address out of configuration, and you will see that a solicited node address is created. And after that, I'm going to remove that link local address that was created, or disable the interface for IPv6, therefore removing the link local address that was created, and I'm going to assign a global unicast address. You know that when that happens, also or as well, a link local address will be created as well. So at that time, when we create a when we assign a global unicast address to the interface, 2 solicited node addresses group will be created. Let me demonstrate that here. Let me show you first that I don't have any interfaces with an IPv6 address. We're gonna do that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the interface. Oops. I'm not gonna, again, this is my live router providing internet access to my house, so I'm not gonna touch the real interfaces. Let me create a loopback interface 1, and to this address I'm going to enable it for IPv6. IPv6 enable, hit enter. I'm going to show you now that a link local address was created, first of all, just by enabling the interface, and then 3 different multicast groups were created. One is the all nodes multicast group, which we already saw before, and the all routers multicast group, and also which we also saw before, and also a solicited node address that was created with the prefix that I mentioned before, a predefined prefix for solicited node address, and the last 24 bits or the last 6 hex digits of the unicast, in this case the link local address. Do show interface L1 IPv6. Do show IPv6 interface loopback 1. And we see here that using stateless address out of configuration, a link local address was assigned to this interface. It was also joined into the all nodes multicast address, and also into the all routers multicast address. But see here also it was joined into a Solicited-Node address group using the first 104 bits of the predefined prefix that we said it was FF02 colon 1 colon FF, and the last 6 digits of the address that was assigned to the interface itself, as we said that it was going to happen. What I'm going to do now is disable no IPv6 enable, show the command again, and again we don't have anything to show because we just disabled the interface for IPv6. What I'm going to do now is assign a global unicast address, and again you know that by doing that also a link local address will be assigned, probably the same one because it's going to be using stateless address auto configuration, so it's going to be the same link local address which uses the UI64 format, remember. And so let's go ahead and do that now. Let's say IPv6 address. We're gonna enter the same address that we use for our post. That was 2001 column C34B column CCA column 1 2 3 4, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so we just assigned that address to the interface, and like I said before, you already know this by the way, that also the link local address was assigned as well. So now we should have, instead of one Solicited-Node address group, we will have two. One linked to the link local address, and the second one linked to the global unicast address. Let's go ahead and do a do show, and here we go. We have two different Solicited-Node address groups. Again, one linked to the link local address. You can see that because of the last 6 digits here, which are the same as here, and also a unicast address that we assign to it, which is right here, and the last the global unicast address, and the last 6 digits for this address is also assigned on the second group. What I'm going to do now that we demonstrated this is give you the answer of the questions that I had on my post, which by the way you should already have their answer and just use it as a knowledge check or understanding check. Let me go ahead and negate the command here. I'm going to say also no here, and now I'm going to create the link local address that we use in our example, which was FE80 column 3B column ED41. I'm sorry, ED49 actually. ED49 column CA22 column 1. And to specify that this is a link local address, we need to say in fact that it is a link local address. So we're gonna do that, and now we're gonna check our result that again you should have. I'm gonna do it now. The link local address, let me write it on the screen and then erase it. The Solicited-Node address that was just created should be FF02 column 1 column FF column, I'm sorry, not column, FF, and then the last 6 digits of the address that we just used, which is let me see, 22 column 0001, right? This should be our answer, or it will be shown like this.